What's up, Cancer? This is Jesse with 44 Astro with another tarot reading for the full moon coming on August 1st. This is a general reading. I believe this full moon is going to be in Aquarius. So that's interesting. That could bring in a lot of new ideas, that type of thing. I was asked recently on one of my comments on another video, like, how should you watch by your sign, whether it's sun, moon, or rising? Well, you can any of those things, but realistically, you want to look at what's strongest in your chart. So conjunctions are the most important thing in a chart. So if you have like a stellium, which is multiple conjunctions in a single sign, you're definitely going to watch that sign, regardless of whether it's your sun, moon, or rising. If you have a conjunction on your ascendant, let's say you're not a Cancer in any way, but you have a conjunction with your moon on your ascendant, and it's aspecting another planet in Cancer. You're going to have strong Cancer in your chart because the moon is going to be the goggles in the way you see the world, because your ascendant is the way you see the world and the way you act to the world. So if you have the moon as a conjunction on that, it's like having the moon as goggles. So that would be Cancerian in nature. Also, having the moon in the fourth house can make Cancer strong, especially if it's aspecting something in Cancer. There's all kinds of ways that Cancer can be strong in your chart without it being sun, moon, and rising. That's why it's important to know your natal chart well. I'm eventually going to be making astrology videos explaining specific things in natal charts and even breaking down natal charts. But first, I'm trying to build the channel before I go through all of that, because I do have a lot of astrology knowledge. I've studied it for quite a number of years in order to discover myself. It's helped me understand a lot of the energies, and by understanding, I was able to integrate and overcome a lot of them. And make no mistake, that is the goal of astrology. It isn't to look at it as, oh, these are the energies and this is what's going to happen, even though it's presented that way many times. The goal of astrology is to learn about it so that you can understand the energies and then integrate them. That way they don't play such a heavy role in your life. At least they'll play a role, but the role in which you want. You use kind of an alchemical balance. You choose to use the energies in the way that you want once you understand them enough. Sort of, it's integration. What Carl Jung talked about, integrating the shadow. This is also integration. It's like integrating the energy of the planets. So anyway, with all that being said, I'm going to draw you a moon card to get an overall energy. Then I'm going to do my thought spread. And this is for the new moon, August 1st. Root down. That's my cat Root. He's going to be jumping in from videos. I'm going to have multiple animals probably jumping in from videos from time to time. Let's see if we get you a moon card here. And then we'll do the thought spread, and then we'll clarify with the thoughts deck. So what is your full moon energy? There we go. Ooh, a fiery climax approaches full moon in Aries. Well, that's some hot energy. I mean, it's that time of year, and it's definitely been a hot summer. So it wouldn't surprise me. Some fiery energy going on. Fiery climax. Well, I mean, as a full moon, something coming to a climax could be something coming to an end. That would make sense, and that's a full moon card. So even though it's a full moon in Aquarius, that's full moon in Aries. But makes sense. So far, there's a good spot. So far, pretty much every reading involved love, which is interesting. I've either had the Lovers or the Two of Cups, or both, in every single reading. And this is looking like it could be something along those lines, but we'll see. Just because it's saying a fiery climax approaches doesn't necessarily have to be in relationships, but it definitely can be. Alrighty. Show the bottom, though it doesn't really mean a lot to me. I'll use the moon card for the Eight of Rods. So fast communication, which would make sense with a fiery climax. Could be some kind of argument or some kind of situation like that. Okay, so middle is always the current question in and of itself, or the current situation. You have the Sun, the King of Rods, and the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is moving away from the King of Rods, who is facing the Sun. You could be a Cancer that has fire in your chart, like Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries, or just have it prominent in your chart, like Mars in Aries, or Jupiter in Sagittarius, or even Mars conjunct your ascendant, Jupiter conjunct your ascendant, the Sun conjunct your ascendant. And it could be that it's a Leo person that you're going to be moving away from, because the Sun's there and it's a King of Wands, and the guy is moving away from this. So it could be that's what the climax is. And it says full moon in Aries, so it wouldn't surprise me if it was in Aries, but Leo wouldn't surprise me either. I mean, but that's a good energy. That's bright energy. Current path has the Lovers. I mean, you can't make this up. And the Star. And it's got the King of Cups, which I would suggest is you. Doesn't have to be male. King of Cups, the Star, and the Lovers. I mean, this looks like good energy overall. I mean, even with the King of Rods there and movement, it could just be movement toward like the spotlight because he's facing the spotlight, especially if you have fire in your chart. But this is also could be you and a wish for healing or guidance about love. Maybe you have a wish about love or your relationship, and you're trying to find healing in your relationship with a fire sign or even within yourself. Or a fire sign may be coming in, and that's your wish is that fire sign comes in, and that's the current path that you're on. And we're going to do clarifiers to kind of get an idea of what that is. Yeah, it's really emotional energy over here. Love and like definite like divine love. And it could be a water sign. It could be that you're that fiery individual, and the individual you're looking for is a water sign. It's some combination of water and fire. And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be sun, moon, or rising, but it can. It could just be someone that has a lot of like Aries in their chart, a lot of Leo, or like the sun aspecting a lot of things in Leo, some stuff like that. And this is the other path, and this path is suggesting argument. Looks like this path is like if you are trying to heal a relationship, that's what you're trying to do, and that's the path that you're on. This path looks a little bit more argumentative, right? And not only that, it looks like not wanting to see the point of view of the other individual and then an ending, because that's the world, and the world can definitely represent, the end of a cycle. And this is like trying to have the upper ground in an argument. And I would say that it could be like on social media, but I don't see the Hierophant, which I would want to see for that. And when we clarify, we see the Hierophant, then maybe. And that's like being blind to what the other, maybe even your own situation or your own thoughts, but it could be blind to the other person's point of view, the other person's thoughts. No doubt about it, it could be. So this looks like you're trying to heal a relationship with someone, or trying to get into a relationship with someone if you're single. And it looks like it could be a fire sign, which most likely that's the case, because this would most likely represent Cancer. But if it doesn't, it could be that you're after a water sign, and maybe you're a Cancer that has a lot of fire in your chart, or even Leo in your chart. And you could be a cusp with Leo and Cancer. Like you'd be a Cancer-Leo cusp. And that would make a lot of sense too. So, and this being a general reading, it could go both ways or either way, depending on the individual. So, and it could be both of those things. That's why it's good to throw them both out there. It could be different for each individual. And both of them could be equally true. This is the advice. Got the Emperor. It's all major arcana. The Emperor, Strength, and the Devil. So again, I said fire sign. It could be Aries too. That would make sense, right? Could definitely be Aries. But this is suggesting that if you acquiesce maybe too much in the relationship with the Emperor, your relationship could turn into this. And this is not a healthy relationship. This is like being controlled by someone, right? And we definitely don't want that, or grasping for control in a relationship, and it's generally not healthy. But it's saying be strong. So I think it's saying, don't let that happen to you. Don't let this person be this. You see what I'm saying? Be strong. Stand your ground. But also try to see the other person's point of view. I mean, because over here, this other path is very argumentative looking with the Eight of Swords and the Five of Swords. So that's look like you're fighting. This is saying, like, be strong. You have the strength of what you need. Or maybe, and you need to maybe be taking a firmer stance in your relationship on certain things so that you're not really controlled, right? Your relationship. That's in the advice. But it's saying you have all the strength that you need, or you need to find the strength within yourself, right? And this is also a Leo card because there's a lion on it. So, again, it could be a Leo. So, I mean, like, it's heavy Aries, heavy Leo. Could be a Leo that acts like an Aries. Could be that you have that in your chart. And, maybe it's either that you need to not be this way. Otherwise, you're going to turn the relationship into this. Or the relationship, even if it's a starting relationship, it could turn into this instead of, this, which is on the current path. Or don't let the individual be like this. Stand your ground. And it's looking like that if you do stand your ground on certain things, that they'll be able to see. And you want the beginnings of the relationship. You want to be as real as you can. And it's very hard to be real in the beginning of a relationship, almost anybody, no matter what anybody says. Because we always put on a persona of who we think they'll like, so that they will like us, so that we can get in a relationship. And then that carries on for a while. Sometimes I would say average probably about a couple years. And then people start kind of getting to know who each other really is, and then they have to decide if they want to acquiesce or compromise or relegate or delegate into to what aspects of the relationship, and then it works or it doesn't. So it's good to set the ground rules early, right? You want to both. If this energy is overbearing, you really don't want it, right? On either side. But it's saying that either don't let it be that way, one-sided, either way, right? You don't want it to be you or them. And then we got an outcome, which is King of Swords, Knight of Coins, Five of Coins. So this looks like worry. Looks like an offer of money. And this looks like a boss, right? This could be like a boss at a job or something like that. And that's generally an offer of money, or it could be, earth sign or what you do for work, that kind of thing. Or moving toward being a boss, like trying to be promoted within your relationship. And it could be looking at your money more logically. That way you're not doing this. And I know times are hard right now. I mean, with the inflation and the economy, it's kind of insane. So worrying about money is difficult. And it could be that you don't arguments about money in the relationship, right? And it could be leading to like this, right? Money comes and goes, right? It's hard not to worry or think about it, but like money comes and goes, right? And in this card, they have 5 pentacles sitting right above them if they just look, right? So whatever it is probably there. Like it's probably right in front of you and being offered in some way. So, or it's coming. And if it is, and this card is generally a slower moving card, so maybe it's moving slowly to you. And maybe even that. Or maybe, you have some kind of idea around what it is. But you just have to be patient. And, maybe don't argue about the money aspect of things. And it could lead to that. Or don't worry about it, I would say, as much. It doesn't really look like arguments here. It looks just like the truth is you're going to have enough, right? Just don't, and know that. And if you know that, it's interesting how, if we, they talk about the law of attraction. I've spoken of this in other videos. I don't know if I ever spoke about it on a cancer video. But, they talk about the law of attraction, attracting what you want, right? But they don't explain the whole quantum physics of it, which is like, is reality in and of itself a particle or a wave, right? And a wave is like the flow, because when you think of a wave, you think of a flow. And when reality in and of itself is just left alone and monitored by like a computer, right? It's a wave. It's like this wave that moves. But the moment there's a conscious observer that looks at it, it collapses into particles. And so there's an argument whether creation or reality in and of itself is the particle or is it the wave. And not only that, we know that conscious observer, like an individual like us with consciousness, if we look at it, we alter it. So it kind of shatters it, so it's not really a flow. So in the law of attraction, you want to flow with things. And the only time we're really in a flow state is when we're sleeping. Now, meditation, you can get there too, and I'll explain that. But you're in alpha waves, delta waves, theta waves when you're sleeping, waves, right? And it's interesting, that's our unconscious, our subconscious, and it works. The unconscious and the conscious work together in creation and how we see things. So in a way, a lot of the way you think during the day and you look at things and things you do does program your unconscious to an extent. And your unconscious also tells you what things need to be healed consciously. And you got to work on those things together. And that way you can get within that flow state. And if you can program your unconscious while in that flow state, it's interesting how that the wave of reality will acquiesce and work with what you're trying to accomplish in life, or the way you feel or think. So the way you feel or think, you have a choice, right? How do you want to think? In the middle is the King of Swords. How do you want to think about money? I would suggest thinking about it like this, that even if it's slow, it's coming and everything works out. And I would suggest that most of the time in all of our lives, no matter how much we worry, things tend to work out one way or the other, but they work out and we're okay. And I think that no matter what, it's going to be okay. And it's some kind of climax. And the only reason I'm reading the cards in this way is because of that fiery climax card. So, and like fire's all in the reading, right? That's the advice. There's the advice. There's fire. There's fire. I mean, it's all over the place. So there's some kind of fiery climax. And with Emperor energy and the strength energy, it could be a strong energy that you're involved with. And you might not want to stand your ground because there's such a strong, fiery individual. Whether it even could be at work, right? It could be in your relationship with the lovers here. I would suggest that it may be in a relationship. Or it is that you can use your relationship at home in your home life as a way to heal from like maybe whatever is worrying you at work, like with money. This could be that could be you, and that you're all good. You'll heal and you'll be able to get through it with the help of the love of your life or within your relationship or even your home life. But it could also be that you're attracting a water individual or a fire individual, and they could be really fiery, or you could be, and you want to, and it looks like the relationship is probably going to be good. You just have to set those ground rules, and you want to set it in the beginning so that you can kind of both learn, the ground rules, and be as show your real self as much as you can. You know what I mean? And it's best to, because the sooner you know if you're compatible, the better. And then the sooner you'll know if the individual's willing to work to, make the relationship better, or to work to give up on some things. Because people can be real stubborn and very cyclical and not want to change their patterns. I know that well. I'd say most of us do. But change is the only constant. So if you can go with the flow or get into your flow state and maybe even help them see that within themselves, then that energy doesn't have to dominate. That devil energy. Okay. What are we looking at here? What do I want to do here? Definitely want to do this. There's the star again. Yeah, it looks like fiery energy. This is on the current situation. You got Ruru. No. Get down, baby. We have the Princess of Wands, the Star, and the Five of Swords. So this looks like argumentative energy of some sort, maybe with a fire sign, right? But it's like you need to heal that energy with that person. It could be even within yourself, like maybe a fiery energy, and you're trying to balance it with the water energy. Those two things are complete opposite and can be really rough. But it could be that it's a fire sign, or a Leo specifically, that you're trying to work something out with. And it could be at work, but it looks like it's some kind of healing or a wish that needs to be taken care of within the way the communication is, because it looks like the communication may be kind of domineering on one side or the other. And we had this bottom card, right? This is communication as well, swift communication. And it says it's going to come to a fiery climax. So it may be that you're coming. I mean, full moon lunacy. They call it lunacy for a reason. When that full moon is full, we get to see a little bit more of our own nature. I'll suggest not drinking on the full moon. Honestly, I would suggest fasting on the full moon. You can look into yoga why you should do that. I'm not going to go. I've explained so much this reading. Maybe I'll go into that in one of my astrology videos. But it's good to fast for around 3 days, or at least a day or two before the full moon, and even on the full moon the day after. It's best for your system, because believe it or not, we are. Ooh, right there. All right. It's the current path. Lovers on the lovers. What do you know? So yeah, man, whatever this path that you're on is good, man. It's love. There's a power. It looks like there might be a little bit of a power struggle, because in this deck, the Four of Pentacles is called the Lord of Power. See? And then you have the Empress. And that's on your current path. So you have, the Lovers, Power, which is the Four of Pentacles, and that the Empress. And it looks like maybe, in the Rider-Waite, it's the guy holding on to his money. And maybe that's what it's saying. Like, it could be some issue around money that's got you worried. It could be some kind of like argument or something at work. It could be coming to a head. It's like, I can't deal with my boss anymore. Or I can't deal with these people at work anymore. Like, they're really stressing me out. I think you just need to lean in on your love life. You need to lean in on those around you that you love in your relationships, right? Family, your loved ones, your partner, and be smart with your money. Maybe you do need to leave that job, right? Because and this even looks like a new beginning, right? It looks like this is new ideas, new energy. Maybe start being a little bit more creative. I mean, with a moon in Aquarius, talk about creativity. It's revolutions, new ideas, making old stuff new. A revolution. Altruism. Aquarius is an interesting sign. It's very future-oriented, Aquarius. So is the 11th house. I could go into that too, but in my astrology videos, if I ever get my 1,000 subscribers, I'll start making the videos. But yeah, it looks like it could be something doing with work, or in some kind of area where you have to like deal with other people. Could even be online. Even though I don't see the Hierophant or anything like they would see. I do see the world over there, so it could be something like social media, where like people are driving you mad for whatever reason. Ooh, but you have this card's in reverse too. It's work, because this card just popped out in reverse, so it's work. It looks like it's some kind of work. You could work online, and I kind of wanted to see down here anyway. Yeah, okay, yeah. Your work's going to be coming to a completion. You kind of need to look within yourself, and you need to probably take a little bit of time. And I think even if you do, you may be worried about the money aspect if you get off work, right? Because the Hermit's there. But you need to take a little time for yourself. See, this is called Works, right? The Three of Pentacles in his deck. It's called Works. Yeah, it's upside down, so I would suggest that work situation maybe not so good. But it looks like it's coming to an end. You need to let it complete. Let that cycle complete. That's what full moons are all about. Spend some time alone inside or with your loved ones, hermit up a little bit and heal. And there's nothing wrong with taking time for yourself. I know the world that we live in isn't really conducive to that. It doesn't really, because it's a fast pace and you got to work every day. You got to make your money. You got to take care of your family. So it's not really conducive for it. I understand that. But that's what drives us crazy. And that's what makes our mental health and emotional health deteriorate. So sometimes you just got to take some time for yourself. And I believe that whoever it is that's around you, that's your loved ones, you're surrounded by good people. So you'd be surprised the support that you're going to get, and you're going to get support, no doubt about it. So take that step. Look out for yourself. It's not. Don't stay with a boss that's like this. You know what I mean? And treating their relationship like this. A lot of bosses are like that or can be. Screw that. You know what I mean? It's a power play is what it is, right? It's some kind of power play, whoever you're dealing with. Don't deal with that crap. You know what I mean? End it. You're going to be worried about money, but who isn't? I mean, I'm worried about money all the time. But I try not to let it overcome. I try to remember that I do have good people around me. And that almost always, it works out. Just as long as I try to focus on solving the problem rather than what the problem is doing to me. But anyway, I hope that's helpful in some way, Cancer. I hope that resonates in some way. I'm really trying to build the channel. Please consider liking and subscribing and even commenting. I'm trying to get to that 1,000 subscribers so that I can start giving off some of that astrology knowledge I have, and maybe even start doing some live streams with some like maybe free tarot readings or even birth chart readings, and get because I'm actually really, really good at that. So I hope to see you again here. I'm thankful that you're here to watch this video, and I wish you the best on this full moon this coming August. Have a good one.